am live streaming here on two places. I'm on my TikTok account and I'm also on my YouTube channel. I have software that lets me do that. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. TikTok TikTok sends out notifications where YouTube does not. And if you're on my YouTube channel, good morning. Is it Edlin? Good morning, David. Good morning, Sarah. Let me know where you're coming in from. If this is the first time you're on one of my lives, good morning, Brandon. Drop a yes in the comments. TikTok shows me who's coming on. I can see that when people do things. If you like my video and if you want to like the live, I'd really appreciate it. That helps my account out. YouTube does not show me that. So if you're on my YouTube live, good morning, Lourdes. Good morning. Is it Sashi? Good morning, Brandon. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you're on my live stream on YouTube, if you don't comment, I don't know that you're there. I can't shout you out. Good morning, Jacqueline. YouTube does not show me that. TikTok does. I can see people coming on from NEPA. Okay. Good morning, Sunshine. Good morning, Jacqueline. So if you don't comment, you're on my YouTube live. I can't shout you out. Good morning, Craft. Is that what people call yours? What is your account about? Good morning, MJ. Good morning, Greek. St. Martin's. What is your account about? I mean, it's interesting to me. Good morning, Texas Mama. People they're putting something else instead of their name on their account. Good morning, Diane. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And I've branded myself, so I put my social media accounts are under my name. And a lot of people, and I was talking about this yesterday, you're using social media for something, and a lot of people don't know how to use it correctly. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there spamming people. If you're sending something to somebody, if you're sending people a link, good morning, Frankie, a video, a website, and you're just dropping that on people's content, or you're private messaging people and sending them a link, and you haven't talked to them to get the permission, you're spamming. Thank you for the heart meme, Brandon. I really appreciate that. Good morning, Ma. That's spam. Good morning, Jeannie. You don't want to do that. If you've got something you're trying to share, you want to ask people ahead of time if they'd be open to taking a look at it. Good morning, user 9087. That is spam. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to use social media correctly, and they're doing that. And I get that on my videos. I get them on my live. I get people private messaging me with stuff. And you always want to get somebody's permission. Good morning, Ferdinand. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning. Is it Rap Kishin? I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. What do people call you? Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Ma Dio. And people are using different things. Good morning, Willow. Some people on TikTok are not even putting a name on their account. And what TikTok does is they just assign you a user number, and it'll just say user with a really long number. And if you're using social media for anything, you really don't want to do that. Good morning. Is it Rap Kitchen? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that again. I won't say. What do people call you? Where are you coming in from? Good morning, Ang543. Good morning, Ann. Where are you coming in from? I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Why are you on social media? I'd love to know why. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, people don't want to put on one of these lives why they're on social media. How much time do you spend every day on social media? Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Julie. When I'm on here, I'm actually getting paid, so my time is productive. TikTok actually pays me to do these lives. Good morning, Donna. And a lot of people, and you may not even realize it, you say you're going to get on social media for 15 minutes. And then 30 minutes go by, and then an hour, and then 2 hours. And here you spend all this time just scrolling. Good morning, Eric. Scrolling, looking at different things. And I do think it can get addicting. Why not get paid for it? And my time on social media is productive. And as I said, TikTok does pay me for doing these live streams. I'm on it because I'm posting content. I'm responding to people's comments that are coming to my account and responding on my videos. Good morning, Ken. So why not, instead of just scrolling? And I think I've had two people now on these, and I've been doing these lives now for like 3 months. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern. I've had two people. Good morning, Susie Q. If anybody wants to like my live, I'd really appreciate it, whether you're on my YouTube channel or you're on my TikTok account. I just don't think people want to come out and say, well, yeah, and that you're spending hours scrolling. I did have one person that was being really honest. She said, I spend way too much time on social media. Good morning, Daisy. Good morning, Mark. You can make the time productive. There's over 5 billion people on social media. And some of you, I did have somebody on here that she's got a nonprofit that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence, and she's using social media to get the word out. Good morning. Is it the real, die? Is that what the people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. If this is the first time you've been on one of my lives, comment yes. Good morning, Grant. Good morning, Skin Bliss. Good morning, Yvonne. What part of the world you're coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I get people on these lives and on my social media accounts from all over the world. And it's 10:04 a.m. Eastern time. Good morning, Helena. Good morning, Mimi. Good morning, Parvita. Good morning, Jack. What part of the world you're coming in from? If anybody wants to like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Now, today I've been sharing some stuff that I've learned since I've been doing social media marketing. I do digital marketing. There's different business models. I've done most of them. But today I'm going to talk about the 10K lifestyle framework. And it's easier than you think. And unfortunately, TikTok shows the mirror on this, and you got to turn it off because, okay, if I don't turn it off, then when people are seeing this on TikTok, it's not the right way. But the 10K, it's not that hard to make $10,000. And a lot of people tend to overcomplicate this, but really it's easy. I'm going to break it down to you. The first thing is you need a product, and preferably you have you want a product that's in high demand, because if it's not in high demand, then the reality is you're going to have a hard time getting any sales. I do digital marketing. It's the e-learning industry, which is $1 trillion a day industry. There's tons of people that are looking for this kind of stuff. You don't have to create the product. Now, I have master resale rights that I bought that I can sell somebody else's products over and over again, and I make 100% profit. You need a product that's in high demand, and then you want to have something that you can make 100% profit. Now, there are all kinds of business models that people are doing, and I've done network marketing, affiliate marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing. I have some of my own products. I really got into when I started with my own products. Good morning, Lori. That I was making 100%. The money comes direct to me. Nobody's holding it. If you're doing network marketing, affiliate marketing, high ticket affiliate marketing, and you're promoting someone else's products, they decide how much. Now, most of them on general, you can make 20 to 40%. There are a few out there that you can make more than that, but the money comes to them. They can hold it. They decide. They come up with a schedule of when they're going to pay you. They're going to decide how you get paid. They pick the merchant account. With what I'm doing, I picked the merchant account. I picked Stripe because I love Stripe. Stripe lets me withdraw up to $500 a day, and the money comes right to me, and I'm making 100% profit. And I'd rather make 100% profit than making 20 to 40%. And to give you an example, when I was doing high ticket affiliate marketing, I had somebody that came through my link, and what she bought was $25,000. Good morning, Wrangler. Is that what people call you? And I made 27% of that, which is $6,200, which is great. I made that in a day. I woke up to that. That's more money than I made in a month when I was still working a job. But when I started thinking about it, over $18,000 went back to the company. It was all my effort. It was the same amount of effort, and they didn't do anything, and they made that made much more than I did. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Helena. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I'm talking about, I'm breaking down the 10K lifestyle framework. It's not that hard to make $10,000. And I'm going to break this down in a couple of easy steps, but you need a product. You want to make sure it's something in high demand and you're making 100% profit. So the second thing is you need a system. And this is an automated system. I have one. And the reason you want an automated system is so that system is working for you 24/7, and you don't have to. Now, I've done both. I've done having a system, and I've done one. Now, there's another, you're a fake, with my name on it. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to block you because the fact that you've made a fake account of me, that's not cool. And there's so many fake accounts now, I just block them. There's so many fake accounts on this platform. I know there's a bunch of mine on this one on Instagram. What people do is they make, if you've got any kind of following, and now I've got over 110,000 followers, they try to make an account. Now this person, you didn't set it up correctly. And then you didn't put a picture, but I blocked that person. It's a total waste of time. And then what they do is they start messaging people. Now you can't see who I'm following, so you can't start messaging those people, but they go through my followers. And I may have that blocked. And they'll start messaging you, making you think it's me, and then trying to get you on Telegram or WhatsApp. I don't use Telegram or WhatsApp. I don't do crypto or Forex. They're trying to get your money. So be careful out there. The best thing you can do is block them. If you report them, from what I'm understanding, I know Meta told me they don't do anything, but there's a ton of them out there. And actually, I find it fascinating. People don't have anything better to do than to get on social media and make fake accounts of people who have some influence. And I've built this up, and I've spent over $100,000 to learn this kind of stuff. I know how to get an account to 100,000 followers. I've had 10 accounts on TikTok. I had one that had 200,000 followers. I lost 3 Instagram accounts and 10 TikTok accounts. I stayed off of TikTok for over a year because I was so disgusted. And then last June, I got back on. I started posting 3 videos a day on the TikTok account you're on, and also on my Instagram account. I got over 100,000 followers now on TikTok. I got monetized, which means TikTok pays me for using their platform. Excuse me. I'd be monetized on Instagram, but they discontinued their program. So this is a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. Good morning, Rhonda. Let me know where you're coming in from. To master it, it's going to take some time. You're going to need to do it every day. I mean, professional athletes practice every day and to get really good at this, and you need to show up every day if you want to build a following. And when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. If you're not doing that, and I see a lot of people trying to do this and you're not doing it, you'll never get anybody to follow you. So let's get back to this 10K thing. So you need a system. You need an automated system. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Mary. If you're sending people to just a page with information, you've got a missing piece and I did that for a year. You want to collect their email address. You want to send them to a capture page, a website, a landing page. It's all the same thing. So you can get their email address and get them on your email address. Good morning, Kelly. To get them on your email list, you want to build an email list because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. I've lost plenty of them. Your email list is your asset. You own it. You control it. You don't control or own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. If you do something they don't like, they could, give you a community guidelines violation, take your account away, and it's gone. Good morning. Is it Emma? So you want to build an email list. You do need a tool called an autoresponder, where you attach to your website a series of emails. You want at least 14. And if you don't know how to do this, you're going to struggle. And when I started, I didn't know any of this. You could use ChatGPT to try to write some of your emails. But if you're doing this and you're doing it blindly, you're probably going to not. And I did this for a year. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. You preferably want to be giving when you're sending people to your system. You preferably want to be giving something away for free, like a free PDF, an ebook, a free webinar training that's congruent with whatever you're doing. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Classy One. And in exchange for the person's email address, you give them the free. It could be a free PDF. It could be a free ebook. It could be a free webinar training. If you're promoting someone else's stuff, you could ask them. They've got something you could do. And really, it's not that hard to make like a free PDF or an ebook. If you need some help, you can go to a site called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. They do $5 to $10 gigs. You could pay somebody to do it. And then in your emails, like I have a free PDF. If you go to payudaily.com, it breaks down this 10K framework I'm sharing with you in the 2-hour workday we're doing. It's a free PDF. You'll get an email from me with a link in it. That's yours to keep. You can download it. You can save it. If you want to try this on your own, you can, but I can tell you, I spent a whole year. The first year I did this, I didn't know anybody. I bought a replicated website. I had no idea what I was doing. They sent me a 3-page PDF with how to set up pay-per-click ads. I was setting up pay-per-click ads. I spent $3,000 on the pay-per-click ads, and then whatever I paid for the website, I did that for a year and I didn't make any money. I didn't have a mentor, I didn't have a system, I didn't have training. And you can try to do this yourself. I'm going to tell you that your chances of being successful are slim. I personally spent over $100,000 to get around people so I could learn from them. But you need a system. This is the piece of it that's working for you 24/7. So even when you're, good morning, James, when you're not doing anything, good morning, Laura, you're still making money. It's how I've been able to wake up to making money. How I can make money when I'm doing something else. And you don't have to be glued to social media every day, but you need a system. So you need a product that's in high demand. You want one preferably that you're making 100% profit. Second thing is you need a system. The third thing is then you need a discovery method. And what I mean by discovery method, we're all using, and my mentor and the people in our community, we're using social media. Now you can do paid advertising, but if you don't know what you're doing, and you're setting up like you're doing Facebook ads or PPC ads or solo ads, you can lose a lot of money and not get any return on your money. I'm using social media. I've generated tens of thousands of leads for free. You can get in front of over 5 billion people, but you need to learn how to use social media correctly. And when I was talking about earlier about the spamming, if you're sending links to anybody, if you're putting links on people's content, if you're private messaging people and you're sending them a link to a video or a website, you're spamming people. That does not work. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning. Under the coaching 6, somebody sent me a flash goal. I'm not sure what that is. But you need a discovery method. And what I'm doing with using social media, and you need to set up your profile correctly, so people can see your picture and all that. But I'm posting 3, 5 to 7 second videos or short videos on my TikTok account. I take those same 3 videos and I post them on my Instagram account. The videos want to be congruent with whatever you're doing. So if you got a weight loss product that you're trying to sell, or you're a fitness or trainer or somebody that's a weight loss expert, you want to create content around that. And if you're doing weight loss, for example, you could do a video, 5 ways to lose weight without starving yourself. There's a couple of different kinds of videos that I do, and I've learned, and this is all by me learning from my mentor. One of those is you want to give out free value. You want to take something you've learned and teach it, and you want to make sure it's congruent with what you're doing. Now, if your my niche is to make money online niche. So if I do some other videos that don't have anything to do with that, it'll confuse your audience. So if you're on weight loss, you want to create content that's all about weight loss. And if you put a video up about gardening, you're going to confuse people. So you want to make sure that the content you're creating and the content you're putting out in your social media account is congruent with what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to confuse people. Good morning, Amy. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. If anybody has any questions, you can drop in the comments, but I'm going over here and let me just put this in front. This is a framework. This is a 10K lifestyle framework. This is how you can make $10,000. It's not that hard. Good morning, Monica. Where are you coming in from? It's not that hard. Good morning, Terry. I'll just put this over here so YouTube, you can see this. This is the 10K framework. It's not that hard to make $10,000. And if you're following this and you have a system, your chances of success are going to be a lot better than if you're just trying to wing it. And good morning, Gregory. And when I got into this industry, I didn't know anybody. I literally went to Google. I searched make money online. I bought a website. It was a replicated website, which you never want to send traffic to. I didn't have any of this. I spent a year and I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. I didn't make any money. You can't do this by yourself. And I do believe, when I say to people, well, why are you on social media? How nobody really wants to comment and say that. But I do believe most of you are on here because you're either looking for a way to make money from home or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. It's very hard to do this by yourself. Good morning, Splendor Zone. What is your account about? Most people, when I say, well, why are you on social media? Most people don't want to answer. I say, well, where are you coming in from? Most people don't want to answer that. And then the couple of the other questions I really don't get a response is, why are you on social media? And then the other one that I think I've had 2 people answer, and I've been doing these now for 3 months. How much time every day do you spend on social media? Good morning, Mama D. One person. She was honest. She said, spend way too much time on social media. It can be addicting. And I think what a lot of people do is you say you're only going to spend 15, 20 minutes or maybe half an hour on social media. And then an hour goes by, and then 2 hours goes by, and then 3 hours, and you're spending all that time, and you're just scrolling. Where I'm on social media, I'm making money. In fact, TikTok pays me to do these lives. My time is productive, but if you're spending, hours on social media just scrolling, it's not productive. You can do whatever you want, but you could turn your social media profile into an ATM. You could turn your phone into an ATM. And there's a lot of people, good morning, Rico, that are trying to use social media. And I did have somebody that got on my live that she has a nonprofit that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence. Good morning, Kara. And she's using social media to get exposure. And so no matter what reason you're on social media, you want to learn how to use it the right way. Monica, you're from Arlington, Virginia. Okay. And you spend 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. Okay. I spend about that time, but my time's productive. I mean, if you're just scrolling, you can if you learn how to do it correctly, turn your social media account into an ATM. You can turn your phone into an ATM, because most of these things you can do from your phone. You can do it in 2 to 3 hours a day. We have a blueprint that we're following. It's a proven blueprint that my mentor has used, and now she's made like $8 million in the last 3 years. Good morning, Alice. It's a proven blueprint showing you how to use, and we're all using social media for free to get exposure. And you can do that working 2 to 3 hours a day. Now, if you're new and you've never done this before, until you get some experience, it might take you longer than 2 hours. And because when you are new and you've never done something before, it's going to take you longer. And the more you do something, the better you get with it, the faster you get. So you can turn your social media profiles into an ATM. And if you're using social media for whatever reason, you want to use it the correct way. And I was talking a lot earlier about how many people are not using social media correctly. You're spamming people. And if you're taking a link to anything, a video or website, and you're posting it on someone else's content on the comments, or you're private messaging people and you don't have their permission, you're spamming them. And you don't want to use that. I know with me, good morning, Philip, anybody does that on any of my stuff, I block you immediately. If you post anything negative, I'll block you too. I just put too much work into this for people just to be that, good morning, Kay, whatever, ignorant, that you're just going to go and post negative things or just spam your link all over the place. It doesn't work. And me personally, if you do that on my content, I'm going to block you. I do get people private messaging me. They think somehow if they send people a link to something, that you're going to do something. And these are people I don't know. Good morning, Edward. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Okay, this is, and I'll just show this one more time. This is the framework. And I went through it briefly, the 10K lifestyle framework. You can make $10,000. Show it over here if you want to take a screenshot of this. This is the steps. You need a product, you need a system, and you need a discovery method. I kind of broke those down, but I'll stop with that for now. But you need a system if you're trying to do this by yourself. And I spent a whole year when I got into this industry trying to do this myself, and it doesn't work. And you need a mentor, you need training, you need a system. And I didn't have any of those things. And I ended up spending $3,000 in pay-per-click ads. Good morning, Mary. And whatever the website cost me, I don't even remember. Last month was my 14-year anniversary. I've been doing this for 14 years. I haven't worked a job in over 9. And I'm in a community. We're all on the same path. We've got over 56,000 people. It's not that hard to make $10,000. And there's a lot of people. In fact, I went grocery shopping yesterday, and just the cost of food alone, and there's people that come on here that you've shared, you're working 2 jobs. We had somebody in our group, she was working 2 jobs. People working 2 jobs to try to make ends meet because everything's so expensive. I think the only thing that's gone down is putting gas in my car. Good morning, is it Monica? If you're jumping on, good morning, Mahila. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Good morning, Nana. But you can learn how to do this. This is a high income skill. You can learn in 2 weeks. To master, it'll take you longer. To master anything, and professional athletes do this. you have to do it every day. And when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. I work a few hours a day. Now my work day is a little longer. It's more like 3 because well, I spend an hour doing these live streams. You don't have to do live streams, but I decided to start doing these. I post 3 videos a day. And if you don't have, a mentor training or a system, it gets really hard. And some people, and I did that for a year, you're sending people, good morning, Jay, to just a page with information. And the issue with that is you only have one opportunity to talk to the person and then they're gone. You want to send them to a page where you can get their email address and exchange. Preferably, you want to give them something away for free. I have a free PDF that outlines the 2-hour workday we're doing. If you go to payudaily.com, that is my website. And there's a space there. People put their email address in. They get on my email list. You want to build your email list. That's the only thing online you own. You don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you do something and that whatever platform you're on, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, any of them, they'll start issuing you community guidelines violations. And then if they really don't like it and you do it too much, they'll just take your account away. And I've lost 10 accounts on TikTok. I lost 3 on Instagram. Somebody hacked my Instagram account, deleted it. Good morning. I said, Emma. Hacked my main account. I had 2 other accounts. Instagram suspended them, and then they did not rule in my favor. And so I had to start all over again on TikTok and Instagram, which I did last June. I started posting 3 videos a day. I am following a proven blueprint, and I've gotten now, I'm over 110,000 followers on TikTok. I got monetized there. I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. I would be monetized over there, but Instagram stopped their monetization program. Good morning, Carl. Thanks for jumping on. You just got a number 2 gift badger. So you want to, you have to follow with their rules, and that's why you want to build an email list because you can't control what your social media accounts do. If you do something they don't like, you could lose your account. Good morning. Is it Mama? Good morning, Wang. Is that what people call you? Thank you, Carl, for liking the live. If anybody else wants to like my live, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, if you are on my YouTube live, if you don't say anything, I can't see you. YouTube does not show me that. Good morning, user 3204. Where are you coming in from? I live on the East Coast of the United States. I do online marketing. I'm close to, actually, I'm 110, Carl, I think, on Instagram now. And I'm close to 100,000 followers on Instagram. And I did get monetized on TikTok. I'd be monetized on Instagram, but they discontinued their program. They used to pay you, good morning, Geneva. They used to pay you for the views you got on your reels. They stopped that. I think they stopped that in 2023. Not sure why they stopped it, but you can create most of the platforms you can get monetized on. You do have to meet their requirements. And on TikTok, if you want to get monetized, you have to have at least 10,000 followers. And then you have to have had at least 100,000 views in the last 30 days of videos on your account to get it. And then you can apply. And TikTok has a lot of different ways you can get monetized. In fact, they're always sending me stuff. It's almost a distraction. If you do a video about this, and I was saying that earlier, I'm not going to do videos. I have people that want to do brand deals with me. She wanted me to do a YouTube video, a TikTok video, and join their affiliate program. And she said they would have paid me $90, and it's not worth it. And I'm not going to put videos up about something else that my account's not about because you're just going to confuse people. And I don't want to join her affiliate program. I mean, she didn't even say, she's probably going to put a time limit for me to promote it because then that's going to stop me from promoting what I'm doing. And I do get offers like that, but for me to put videos up that have nothing to do with what my account's about because you're just going to confuse people, I don't want to do that. But I do get people emailing me and contacting me about that. So you can make money. And TikTok's got, and so I am finding it at this point is distracting because they're messaging me saying, why don't you do this? Good morning, Veronica. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. It's a distraction for me, and they want me to look at what they're doing, and then for me to create content promoting whatever there is. And I had somebody else that she sent me an email. She wanted me, she has her website's about women's clothes. And she wanted me to do a YouTube video about that. And she was going to pay me, and it was something ridiculous like $50. I'm not going to put a video up on my YouTube channel about a women's clothes store. It's just going to confuse people. And even if she was willing to pay me a lot of money, it's still not worth it. Good morning, Star, because I'm going to confuse people. That's not what my YouTube channel is about. And I get people, I had somebody else that actually, this guy's messaged me a couple times that he wants me to hire him, and he's guaranteeing he can get me to a certain income a month, which I don't know who he is. And I got another email this morning. I don't know if it was his assistant, but it's not something I'm going to do. And I don't have no idea who he is. So I get messages like that all the time. Good morning. Is it Iran 945? What do people call you? Good morning, WKH. What do people call you? If you're on my, if you're on my live, whether you're on my TikTok or my YouTube channel, let me know where you're coming in from. What part of the world do you live in? I live on the East Coast of the United States. If anybody's got a question, drop in the comments. I'm on social media because I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I've actually been in this industry. In September, it was 14 years. I haven't worked a job in 9. I don't need a job. I don't want a job. Good morning, Nemi. And I started doing this after, and it was in August, this past August, it was 14 years. I lost my job. I couldn't find another one. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure, drowning in $250,000 of debt. Good morning, Richard. I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. And I believe if I hadn't found digital marketing in this industry, I probably would not still have my house, which I still do. And that's how I got started. And the job market, when I lost my job, was horrible. People were getting 1,500 resumes for one position, and usually got an automated email from them saying, thanks, we got your application. If we're interested, we'll get back to you. And then you never hear from them, and you're spending all that time. I think I got 3 interviews in a year. I never had trouble finding a job, and I don't know how I knew, but the people were making money on the internet. I think it was God telling me, because I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone that I could go and ask them, say, hey, can you show me what you're doing? And the rest is history. And I eventually did find a mentor to get around somebody, because if you're trying to do this yourself, and I did that, and I can save you a ton of time. I spent a year doing that, and over $3,000 in pay-per-click ads, and whatever I spent on the website, I don't even remember, and I didn't make any money. So if you want to go try that, and I did lay out a 10K formula. If you want my free PDF, you can go to my website, payudaily.com. You'll get an email from me with a link in it. You can download and save that. That is the blueprint we're using. Good morning, Taz. It is a proven blueprint. My mentor did that. She's used it to make $8 million like in the last 3 years. And we've got over 56,000 people in our group. And there's many of us in there that we are using it, making money with it. So it does work. Good morning, Hip something Floor. What do people call you? A lot of, people are coming on here, and I do believe when I say, why are you on social media, and nobody seems to want to answer, even like where you're coming in from. Or the other question I don't get. Now, Monica has been honest this morning here on YouTube and said she spends 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. How many hours a day do you spend on social media? And there's a lot of people scrolling on social media every single day. And I think one reason these people really love these lives is there's no accountability. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to show your face. You can jump on and off it whenever you want. And you're not just jumping on my live streams, you're jumping on other people's live streams. Good morning. Is it Churus? I'm not even going to try to say the rest of your name. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Do you have a nickname or something people call you? But I do believe that most of you are on here because you're trying to find a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. And I was there because when I started, I didn't know anyone. Good morning, Nate. And I literally went to Google and searched make money online. And I spent a year, and I spent over $3,000 between pay-per-click ads and whatever I paid for the website I bought. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have training. I didn't have a system. And a year went by, I didn't make any money. And then I knew I needed to get around somebody who had done what I wanted to do, to learn from them, because success leaves clues. You want to model what's already proven to work. And a lot of you, and I know when I got into this industry, I had a broke mindset. I've had to work on that. Most people have a broke mindset. It's your birthright to be wealthy. It's my birthright to be wealthy. God didn't want anybody to be broke or poor or living in poverty, and yet so many people are. And a lot of you and different people that I meet and I talk to, how many times you say, I don't have the money, I can't afford it. And you want to stop saying that, because what you plant in your mind is what you get. And you keep repeating that, so you keep getting more of that. Good morning, Jeff. And I can tell you that works because I've done it myself. You want to start feeding your mind with good things. And a good thing to listen to is if you go over to YouTube and search The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, a bunch of videos will come up. They're all the same. A lot of them are black and white. It's dated, but the content's evergreen. If you start listening to that, and the first time I heard that, I thought it was so profound, because a lot of you keep planting, you're broke, you don't have the money, you can't do it, you can't afford it. You're just going to get more of that. So stop saying that. Learn to change your mind. And instead of saying, I don't have the money, say, how can I come up? If you need $500, how can I come up with $500? And learn to train your mind, because if you don't master your mind, it'll master you. Good morning. Is it Zeta? I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I'm not, but a lot of you, and the amount of time you spend on social media, good morning, Darren, scrolling, and you're just scrolling, and you could be literally laying on your couch, you pick your phone up, and you're watching somebody's live stream, or you go to mine or somebody else's. You could be sitting on the toilet for all anybody knows. But it's, good morning, Charles, it's a waste of time. When I'm on social media, it's productive time. I'm making money. In fact, TikTok pays me for doing these live streams. So if I spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on social media, my time's productive. If you're just scrolling, it's not. And you can learn, and this is a high income skill. You can learn it in 2 weeks. But to master anything, you have to start doing it every day. And when I say every day, that's 7 days a week. And a lot, most people come into this, and the ones that do try it, I've seen people spend tens of thousands of dollars and do nothing. Which, don't do that. That's a waste. If you're not going to do something because you completely change your life. I've had days where I've made more money in a single day than I made in a whole month when I was working a job. For me, that's been life-changing. And there's other people in our community. It's the same thing. We had a woman named Amy, good morning, Don, who she was working 2 jobs. She never had time to spend with her kids. By the time she got home, she was exhausted. And she started doing this. She started doing digital marketing. Now she's left both of those jobs. And she's making more money doing this than she was killing herself working 2 jobs. Monica, you're saying time to major change me. Thank you. Monica, really anybody can do this. Look, I'm not an academic scholar. I'm a kid that went all through grade school, high school, not knowing I had a learning disability. Good morning, Big Daddy. Good morning, Don. I flunked my way basically through school. I couldn't pass the test in American history. The only way I passed was we had political cartoons on Friday, and my dad was a really good cartoonist. He would do one. I get an A+ on that. I flunked all my tests, and I was 32, and I was in therapy. Thank you, Don, for the gift. I appreciate that. Good morning, Robert. And if it wasn't for her, I was going back. I was taking courses at a community college, and I had been out of college. I graduated from high school. I was taking a course in American history, and I was flunking it. And I had an appointment with her, and I went, and she said, how did you do in your test? And I said, I got a 53. She started saying to me, there's something wrong. And I was like, looking at her like, what do you mean there's something wrong? She goes, well, maybe you have a learning disability. I was 32. And it took her a year, but she convinced me to go see somebody. This woman has a doctorate degree in education. She tested me. And I went back, I spent a whole day with her. She went through the whole test. I have a learning disability, I have ADD, and my reading comprehension's at 11th grade level, which is way lower than you need to understand and comprehend a college level textbook. She made some suggestions for getting help. One of them was taking Ritalin, which I took that till I finished school, and I got double the time to take tests. I passed my first test in American history. I did finish my bachelor's degree, and I graduated magna cum laude. So I'm not an academic scholar. I was 32 at that time, got an explanation for my academic difficulties. I have a twin sister that always made honor roll. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Evelyn. I couldn't keep up with that, and people always compared us. But yeah, I'm not an academic scholar, and I still, even when I write emails and stuff, I have to go back and reread what I'm doing multiple times to check it to see if there's any errors because of the ADD. And I saw a psychiatrist. We made an agreement that when I finished school, I would get off the Ritalin. And I thought many times of getting back on it because I can feel the difference. And it is a narcotic, and it's more abused than Valium because people buy that on the street. And if you don't have ADD and you take that, it feels like speed. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Rena. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Thank you, Don, again for the heart. I really appreciate that. If anybody else if you want to like my live, whether you're on my YouTube account or you're on my TikTok account. So I am not an academic scholar. I do work harder than most people. And I wish I had what I have today when I started, but I did not because there was nobody to ask. I knew somehow how people were making money, but we have a whole community of people. We've got over 56,000 people. You can come into the group and ask questions. We have interactive trainings where my mentor actually gets on Zoom, and then she'll do a training. She'll break people out into small groups, and then we'll come back after that. She does that. We have one of those every single week. We have other trainings. If you need tech help, there's help in there. There's all kinds of help. So you're not doing that. It's your own business, and this is a business. You have your own business, but you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with the other people that are on the same path as you. Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning, Jean. If you're jumping on, let me know what part of the world you're coming in from. But I'll say it again, it's your birthright to be wealthy because there's a lot of people, and you jump on and off my lives, you watch my content or whatever. Some of you work in 2 jobs because you can't make ends meet. Good morning, Bobby. If you had an emergency, most people don't have the money aside. Say if your car broke down to get the car fixed, and most people are living like that. I know when I was working, I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. This industry can change your life. It's changed mine and how many other people, and I cannot make any income guarantees because the people that are making money, it's because they were coachable, they were consistent, they showed up, they put the work in. There is work involved. Good morning, Annie. If you're jumping on, what part of the world you're coming in from. If you like my live, I'd really appreciate it, whether you're on my TikTok account or my YouTube channel. If you're on my YouTube channel and you don't say anything, I can't see who's there. So if you don't comment, I can't shout you out. Monica has commented, so I can shout her out. So if you have any questions, drop in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I do believe most of you are on here because you're looking for a way to make money from home, or you've been trying and you're not getting the results that you want. If you have a question, put it in the comments. If there's something you're trying to do, I'd be glad to, if it's something I've done, do a training on these. I've been picking topics. I was talking today about the 10K lifestyle framework, how you can make $10,000. It's not that hard. Okay, Monica, thanks for jumping on. It's not that hard, but you do need a framework. And if you don't know what you're doing, it gets, pretty difficult. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you like my live, I'd really appreciate it. Some of you already had. Don gave me that heart. I really appreciate that. But if you like my live, no matter if you're on YouTube or TikTok, it really helps my accounts out. Good morning, Flash. If you're jumping on, where are you coming in from? I'm on the East Coast of the United States. I live about 40 or 50 minutes outside the city of Philadelphia. It's about 2.5 hours from New York City. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you got a question, drop in the comments. I committed to doing these. Actually, I've been doing these now. It's going on. It'll be 3 months next week. Yeah, 3 months next Thursday. I'm here every day at 10 a.m. from Ghana. Okay. I've had some other people come on here from Ghana. Good morning, Jay Williams. I get people on these lives and on my social media accounts from all over the world. What I'm doing is global, so it doesn't matter where you live. You can do this. Good morning, Donna. There are some things out there that they aren't global. And depending on where you live, it's restricted. But if you are doing this and using social media, you want to make sure it's global because there's a lot of people that you're not going to, it's not going to be available to them. And then you end up having to tell them, say, where do you live? And then that's not available. What I'm doing, it's global. If you're going to do something, I suggest you make it global. Good morning, Zoe. and there's over 5 billion people every single day on social media that you can get in front of for free. My mentor, this is her blueprint. She's used this to make $8 million like in the last 30 years. It works. Flash, if you want to do the Adidas program, the video's there. That's all I have about that. I tell you where to go to sign up. They may or may not approve you. That's affiliate marketing. I'm doing digital marketing, affiliate marketing. And with those kind of programs, Adidas and how many 80% of companies have programs like that, you can join for free. They're only going to pay you 1 to 5%. So if you even want to make $500, you're going to have to get hundreds of sales a month to make that money. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not going to do that. I average 900 a sale. I only have to get 12 sales and I make $10,800. That's, if you want to go do that now, they may not approve you. I have talked to some people that have not gotten approved. 80% of companies do have affiliate programs that you can join for free. Target has one, Walmart has one, Amazon has one. On average, they pay 1 to 5%. There's no training, there's no mentorship. If you don't know how to use social media, or you don't have an email list or someplace somewhere that you have influence over people, chances are slim you're going to make any money because you don't know how to use social media. You don't have an audience. And Adidas is not going to show you how to do that. So I don't do that. And I think most of you, and when I got into this industry, my mindset was broke. Your mindset's broke and you're struggling to get past having, I personally spent over $100,000 to get around people and learn from them. You can't do this by yourself. So if you want to go do that, go ahead. Thanks, Michael, for liking, and I see you reposted. I really appreciate that. Anybody else wants to like my live, I appreciate that. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel. If you are on my YouTube live and you don't say anything, I can't see you. I can't shout you out. TikTok does show me when people are coming on. Good morning, Queen. Somebody else, Flash, you got a number 2 gift badger. And Michael, you liked my live and reposted. I really appreciate that. I can see that TikTok does show me that, YouTube does not. And I can, and what happens on these live streams is people jump on and off. They jump on mine, then they get on somebody else's. And I can see somebody jumps on, and then if they jump off, I see them coming back on. So I can see that on TikTok. YouTube doesn't do that now. So, but if you like the live, or if anybody else, if you want to like it, I really appreciate it. That helps my accounts out. Good morning, Joanne. If you have a question, drop in the comments. I was going over, and I'll just pull this up. This is a 10K lifestyle framework. There's a few things you need to have. And I'll show you this over here on my YouTube channel. It's very simple, actually, and a lot of people make it overcomplicated to make $10,000. I just laid the framework out for that. And I was going over that again this morning. But if you're jumping on, good morning, is it Mason Shows? What do people call you? You're on social media for a reason. I did have somebody that jumped on. She's got a nonprofit that supports women who've been victims of domestic violence. And no matter what reason you're using social media, you want to learn how to use it correctly. And there's a lot of people that are not using it correctly. And I get this on my own content. I know other people get it. People just spam a link to a video or a website on on somebody's content, or they're tagging somebody. They think that they're going to get exposure for something. And I just block people. If you do that, that's spam. If you're private messaging people and you're sending them a link to anything, that is also spam. You're spamming people. You don't want to spam people. You're not going to, you may think that works. I can tell you it does not. I know I block anybody who doesn't. I know my colleagues that are doing the same thing, they'll most likely block you too. It's not the way you want to use social media. And if you're brand new, good morning, James. If you're brand new, you might not know any better. And if you're trying to use social media, you want to learn how to use it correctly. And the program I'm involved with, we teach you the right way to use social media and build your email list. If you're just sending people to a page, and I did that for a year, it was a replicated website. The issue with that is you only have one chance to talk to the person, and then they're gone. And you might not have an opportunity to talk to them again. You want to send them to a capture page, a website, a landing page, a squeeze page. They're all the same thing. Get their email address, get them on your email list. There's software you need. It's called an autoresponder. Most of them you can start for free, but after you get past so many subscribers, you have to pay for it. The one I use, they let you use it for free up to 2,000 subscribers, and then you have to pay for it. But you want to build an email list. It's an asset. It's the only thing on online you own, because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. And a lot of you, and there's, I've seen some new people, I've seen some new names coming up on my TikTok account that I don't think you've been on my lives before, but there are some of you that you've been on multiple times, and there's a reason you're on social media. And if you're spending hours scrolling, and Monica, who was on my YouTube live, said she spends 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. Good morning, Richard. If you're just scrolling, and you're probably spending more time, and if it's 2 to 3 hours, you could be getting paid for being on it. Now, I spend 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more, but I get paid for it. Actually, TikTok is paying me to do these live streams. My time is productive, or I'm posting content on my accounts, or I'm responding to people's comments or the people that are messaging me. So my time is productive, but there's an awful lot of people. And when I say how much time every day do you spend on social media, nobody, I've gotten a few people, and I've been doing these lives now for like 3 months, that have answered and said, and it's somebody else on my live that said she spends way too much time on social media. It can be addicting. You get on and you say you're only going to stay on for, good morning, Jolly Cal. You say you're only going to stay on for 30 minutes, and then that turns into an hour, then it turns into 2 hours, and then all that time has passed and you're just scrolling. And you can turn your social media profiles into an ATM. You can turn your phone in, because a lot of this stuff you can do from your phone. So if anybody's got any questions, I did commit to doing these for an hour, and I'm getting close to the hour. So if you've got a question, drop in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to do a training on if I've done it. If I haven't done it, I don't think it's ethical that I train on it, but I can probably give you a resource. I had a guy on my YouTube live that wanted me to do like a video on CPA marketing. I've never done CPA marketing. I know what it is. I've got an idea how it works. I've never made any money with it. And I gave him a couple of resources. If I don't know it, I can give you some resources. If you're trying to figure something out, and you're really serious about being successful at it, again, you want to get around somebody who's done it, because success leaves clues. You want to model what's already proven to work. And there are some people, you're trying to use social media, and you're not using it correctly. And if you're spamming people, you're most likely going to get blocked, and you're just turning people off. And I have a discovery method I've learned that I'm using attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is way better. You can attract people to you. Good morning, Alan. Good morning, MC something. What do people call you? I'm not even going to try that. But if you have a comment, drop it in the comments. If there's something you're trying to figure out, I'd be glad to try to help you out with that. If I've done it, I can do a training. If I haven't, then I can give you a resource, because if you're really serious about trying to do something and you want to get good at something, you can't, you need training, you need mentorship. You can't do it by yourself. Like YouTube, I've taken 10 courses. I've been on YouTube since 2013. Good morning, Richard. Flash, you just got a number 2 badge. Number 2 gift badger. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I live on the East Coast of the United States. Good morning, Terry. If you've got a question, I do online marketing, making money from home. I teach other people how to do the same thing. Last month, September, was my 14-year anniversary in this industry. I haven't worked a job in over 9 years. I started doing this after I lost my job. That was 14 years ago in August. I couldn't find another one. Worst job market ever. I was broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I was being sued. I found myself drowning in $250,000 of debt. I had no idea how I was going to get myself out of this mess. I found this industry in digital marketing, and I believe that I probably would not still have my house if it wasn't for that. And if you've ever been, I had bill collectors chasing me every time my phone rang. I felt sick to my stomach, because they're chasing you down. They don't want to hear what your problem is. They want their money. I know what it's like to be broke. It sucks. Good morning, Faith. And there's been some people and a woman named Susan that was getting on my lives, and she was liking them like crazy. If you want to do that, that's great. Thank you. But I got an email from her. I guess I got the email 2 days ago. And the email, I mean, she wanted me to give her money. She said, oh, hi, who she was, Susan. She said, was been on your lives. If you're doing that, I mean, she had an agenda. I had somebody else that was on liking my lives. And then she sent me a message. She wanted me to get on hers and do the same thing. If you're doing anything in this industry and you've got an agenda, you need to drop your agenda. I mean, the one woman wanted me to give her money. The other one, she wanted me to get on her live and do the same thing. You don't want to go do things with an agenda, because that just doesn't work. And I know how many times I've heard my mentor say that, drop your agenda. And some people that are trying to do this and you're just trying to get your first sale, you got to drop your agenda. If everybody made a point every day to get on social media and find someone you could help, things will change. Because the people you see making money, they're giving out value. The amount of money that anybody makes is in direct proportion to the value you give out. If you're not making any money, you're not putting any value into the marketplace. Good morning. Is it Barca for life? What does that mean? I'm not sure. And I don't think that's what people call you. But you don't want to, and if you're trying, good morning, Kevin, if you're trying to use social media and you got something you're promoting, you want to meet people without an agenda. And that is really true. If everybody made a point, if you got on social media every day and you made a point just to help, find one person you can help, and not have any kind of agenda, things would change. And I know when I first started this, I was desperate to make some money. And when I just started dropping my agenda and the whole I need to make money and just trying to find people you can help, things change. Good morning, Daniel. Where are you coming in from? If you have a question, drop it in the comments. Love to know why you're on social media. How much time a day do you spend on social media? And there's very few people that want to say that. And this morning, and Monica, I don't think she's still on, she spends 2 to 3 hours a day on social media. I had somebody else say she spends way too much time on social media. I am on social media every day, but when I'm on it, I'm making money. In fact, TikTok pays me for doing these lives. I'd be monetized over on Instagram too, but they discontinued the program. But you can turn your profile into an ATM. I mean, if you learn how to use it the correct way, you can turn your phone into an ATM too. So if you've got comments, drop them now, because I did commit to doing these for an hour, and I'm less than 3 minutes away from it being an hour to end this. So if you got a question, drop in the comments. You got something you're trying to figure out, and I could be glad to try to help you out. If I've done it, I can do a training on this. If I haven't, I know I can probably give you a resource, because if you're trying to figure something out, you want to learn how to do it the correct way. There's a lot of people that you're trying to do something, and you're not doing the correct way. So if you have a question, drop in the comments. And if you're on my YouTube live, if you don't comment, I can't see you. TikTok does show me who's jumping on. And I just think a lot of people, you get on social media and you're jumping just not on my lives, but you're jumping on other people's lives. And people don't really want to say anything. Good morning. Is it Allie Moreno? What do people call you? Daniel, you're a truck driver. Well, I live in Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania are you in? I had somebody else that his name was Hank. He jumped on one of these, and I think he said he's a truck driver, and he told me he's working 2 jobs. And there are a lot of people, because you can't make ends meet. Because I know every time I go to the grocery store and I buy food, or even if I go out to eat, the same thing I bought, a week or 2 before, the price has gone up. And a lot of people are struggling to try to make ends meet. He's working 2 jobs. There's a lot, and there's more people that get on these lives and on social media. You're working 2 jobs. We have somebody in our group that was working 2 jobs. She was so exhausted, she didn't have any time to spend with her kids, and she started doing digital marketing, and now she's left both those jobs. Is it good morning, Del Ramos? Is that what people call you? It's funny because people don't put their names or what people call them on their accounts. There's all these other things. Warminster, Oh, you live in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, I'm not far from Warminster. That's probably about 40, 50 minutes for me. I used to work up there, and that was the job that I lost, but couldn't find another one. But there's a lot, and we have people in our group that were working two jobs. And that woman, her name's Amy. She had no time to spend with her kids. She was exhausted. She started doing digital marketing, and since she's left both jobs, she's making more money doing digital marketing than what she was when she was making working two jobs. So if nobody has any questions, I am going to end this now. I am here every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Come back tomorrow. I appreciate you getting on. I appreciate you liking my content, and I will see you guys tomorrow. It's not letting me. Oh, TikTok. There we go.